Young folks, old folks, everybody come to Kids Club and have a lot of fun. Please check your chewing gum and raisins at the door, and we'll tell you Bible stories that you never heard before. Hello, children. This is Pastor Ted, and today's Bible story, David and Goliath. Can you say that name? Goliath. David and Goliath. Here is a statue carved by the artist Michelangelo so we would remember David. David has no clothes on, but he does have over his shoulder a sling, kind of like a slingshot. Now, Goliath was a giant soldier in the Philistine army, and David was just a little boy. And Goliath came out and he challenged the soldiers in King Saul's army and said, "I dare anybody to come out and fight me. And if somebody kills me, then the Philistines will surrender. But if I win, then King Saul and the Hebrews will surrender." And David, just a little boy who had been tending his sheep, he came from Bethlehem, said to King Saul, "I will fight Goliath because God, I know, wants the Hebrews to win. And so even though I'm small and even though I'm weak, I will defeat the giant Goliath." So David went out and told Goliath he'd better be careful because God was going to give victory to the Hebrews. And so into his sling, David put 3 small stones and he wound up his sling. And of course, Goliath laughed at this little shrimp of a kid that was going into battle with men. But David was not afraid. He was not afraid because God was with him, and even though Goliath was bigger, God was going to protect him. And so Goliath attacked, but David flung his stone. And you know what? That stones went straight for Goliath's forehead. Bang, bang! And they got him in the forehead, and the stones did their work. They killed the giant Goliath. God made sure that those stones didn't miss, that they hit their target. And when the giant Goliath fell dead on the ground, then David was the victor, and all the Philistine soldiers became frightened. And in order to mark the victory, David walked over to the body of the now dead Goliath. He pulled the big, heavy iron sword out of its sheath, and he cut off the head of the giant Goliath. And all the soldiers in Saul's army cheered, and all of the soldiers in the Philistine army got frightened. And David had a message that when it's God's will, even the small will win over the big. And you and I have to remember that when we're doing God's will, even if we are small, God will make certain that we win over the big. Young folks, old folks, everybody come to Kids Club and have a lot of fun. Please check your chewing gum and raisins at the door, and we'll tell you Bible stories that you never heard before. Bye-bye, children.